Hello, everybody, and welcome to yet another episode of Wine Library TV. I am your host, Gary Vaynerchuk. Amarone, Corvina, my favorite grape that you've never heard of. These wines are expensive, but exceptional. And what's really interesting about these wines is that a lot of people are not drinking them. And that's why, hence, today, we're featuring them on Wine Library TV. Amarone from the Veneto region in Italy is very close to my heart. I've just always thought the wines were tremendous. The wines are from the area of Verona in Italy. The wines are really interesting. There's 3 to 4 major grapes, Corvina being mainly the main grape of the area, a grape that a lot of people don't know about. The wines are picked very carefully by almost all the estates in the area and then dried in the sun for 60 to 100 days. What happens then is the grapes lose a lot of their water weight and the heat brings up the sugar content quite a bit, which what happens is the alcohol contents get real high. These are 15% monsters that have a lot of sugar content on them. They're not dessert wines, but you can definitely taste a little hint of sweetness. They're completely dry, so don't get me wrong before we start. These wines have been really carried by the flagship Bertani for many years, but over the last 5 to 7 years, we've seen an increase in great qualities, producers popping up, and people starting to get into them. I'm a huge Amarone drinker. I drink probably 3 bottles of Amarone to every bottle of Barolo and Barbaresco. So you can tell I'm pretty much into them. So without further ado, let's get right into it. Cecilia Barata is a tremendous producer that we just started working with, and this is their 2000 Amarone. So let's see what it's like. What I like about the Amarone wines is they tend to get tremendous color, and this has a pitch black color, really nice. Great nose. You know, this is funny. I can peg this right away. This is chocolate-covered cherries. So if you like that candy, you'd love this wine, because that's what it has right in the nose. It's excellent. Great mouthfeel, tremendous acidity. What a great mid-palate. And I'm going to save mid-palate for an episode all by itself, because it's a very interesting term and thing that we use in the wine business. But what a mid-palate really is between the flavor you get when it first hits your palate and the last thing you taste, there's a lot going on in the middle. And that's really when you can tell if a wine is flabby or can last for many years. What I love about this wine is a tremendous mid-palate. Tons of acidity, but yet enough fruit and enough character to really hide that so it's not an appalling wine this young. This is a tremendous wine. It's got a lot of, dried raisin, cherry, dried cranberries. You've seen the trail mix. It's got those kind of flavors going. It's great. Great finish. I could drink a bottle of this by myself on a good night. This is great stuff. Again, these wines are expensive. Amarones, are pretty much, to get in the game, you're talking about $40. So, you're really paying, so you really want to have good wine. Bertani, 1998, Amarone. If you've ever drank Amarone, and you're not an Amarone drinker, this is probably the wine you've had. They've had great representation in the last 20 years on all the major wine lists in the country, and they're the big brand. They're definitely the name in Amarone. Yeah, it's an awkward nose. I'm going to use a very fun term. It's got like a spider web kind of nose. When you're little and you're playing in the woods, you get to taste and smell things, and that's where I get that from. It's got this very musty kind of greeny. It's just very tight. I'm not getting a lot out of it. Again, about an hour and a half opened on all these folks, so they've had a little bit of time to breathe. Maybe decanting would help, but this is very tight. It's like taking a shot at Muhammad Ali. It's like, what do you say? This is not a great wine. The acidity and the tannins are very bitter. I don't see a lot of people getting pleasure out of drinking this wine now. It could evolve and get better. It's got medium weight, way too much, way too acidic, way too bitter at this point, really getting no flavors of any kind of pleasure. This is not a good effort. It's not a good effort. Allegrini, 2000, Amarone. This is a heavyweight. This wine has received huge scores in the past, as high as 96 points from Parker on a given vintage. I'm not sure if this wine scored or not. Don't check the scores as much as I should. Let's see. As you can see, pretty much the darkest of the bunch. Really great color. Very interesting nose. I like this nose a lot. Kind of a candied strawberry. Kind of like taking a bunch of strawberries, throwing it into a pot, and pouring tons of pepper on it, and mixing it together. That's what you're really getting. It's very exotic. I definitely get that pepper on the nose, but I also taste a lot of strawberry. Smell a lot of strawberry. Very strong mouthfeel. I like this wine. Coats the palate pretty well. Not bad. Gets a little awkward on the finish. Yeah, the finish is a little hot. 15% alcohol. I think the heat got away from them a little bit on the finish. But that can also blow over with a little more air. Again, an hour and a half, no decanter. So maybe with a decanter. And obviously, by aging this 5 to 7 years, you'll see it evolve. It's got good potential. It's a nice wine. Not bad. Yep. This one's pretty much easy. The Beretta is a 91 point wine. Easy 91. I'd give the Allegrini an 89, and I would probably score the Bertani about an 82. I'm a huge fan of Amarone. Please go out and try some Amarone. That's what we're all about. By the way, I can't thank you guys enough before I sign off for all the emails. I'm just getting bombarded at this point, and it's quite flattering. I'm going to keep this up as much as I can. Today was a very tough day, so it's really nice to drink some wine and lay back. But we're going to keep it going for you. We'll see you next time on Wine Library TV.